What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Zebec today, ZBCN. Hit that like button, you guys. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, all right? Here we are on the 15th of June, sitting at about $0.00416 with 21 hours and 35 minutes left in the day. Still hanging out down here, not really making any headway, right? But if we're looking at this for what it is, it does seem, in my opinion at least, that we have lower lows here. Well, that wasn't the best drawn line. Let's try and do that a little bit better. Lower lows there. We have lower highs here. We're in a nice little parallel channel on the way down. Sure, we might move up today. Maybe we move up as high as like 0.044, 0.045, maybe at the highest. But likely we do have lower to go, right? That is the expectation. If we're looking at this on the RSI has gotten a little bit weaker. Living below the 50 here is not a good look. Typically, if you're looking for strength, you want to show signs of strength. I mean, think about it like this. If you're looking for showing signs of weakness, you're living below the 50, you get above it, and you get right back below it, right? You get above it, you get right back below it. You know what I mean? Typically, that's how you show weakness. If you're looking to show strength, you would not live down here the way that you are. I mean, maybe you get back above it. It's very possible, and just because you get back above it doesn't necessarily mean that it's time to go. But at the very least, that's what I think would be necessary for me to have any kind of bullish inclination for ZBCN at this point in time, right? Until then, I very much do believe that we're going to hit the 40, if not lower, in the RSI. Maybe we hit the oversold zone, get into it, bounce right off of it, bounce right above it, something like that. But something at the 40 or lower is what I would expect. And right now we're at about the 46, 47, something like that. So a little bit lower is what I'm thinking. And from the current price, a little bit lower is sounds about right. We take a low to high here from the low that we had in April, late April, to the high here. The typical expectation whenever you see a fib range like this would be to go down to the 382. And in extremely powerful moves, you would expect to find direct support off of that 382, not to go below it. Generally, with the first interaction on the 382, you do go below it and then you close above it, right? You wick below and then you close above. But in powerful moves like this, I don't know about you, but 10x in 1 month and 1 week, 10.2x, that's a very powerful move. I would think that the 382 is a more than adequate area to go to. If we take a high to a low right down there at the 382, that's about a 58% drop, which is right about standard for what you see cryptos do, even in bull markets, whenever they have phenomenal runs like this, right? You can see a 40 to 60% drop. 58% is right on the upper ends of that. Sometimes on the light end, you get 30%. Sometimes on the heavy end, you get 70% or more drops. We've seen that happen a couple times for a few coins this cycle, haven't we? I'm not expecting anything too much more than this. It's possible. It is possible that you could go below this area, but I'm thinking that at the most, that's where you'd go down. And understand that this is kind of odd for me to say, right? I don't typically, looking at this with the fibs, the way that we're interacting with this 236 here, this is all I would need to say that we're going down here. But there's other things at play beyond just this fib here. There are other things at play, and this thing is exceptionally strong, right? There are reasons to find support at levels that might just be above that 382. There are reasons to do that, right? If you go back in time, delete that little white circle there, you can see your all-time high all the way back here is right there, just above the 382. Right there at about 0.033, almost $0.034, right? From a high to a low here, based on this fib, that's also right there with the 1414. And as common as it is to do what I was just saying, go from the 236 down to the 382, it's also very common, I don't know if I would say more common, but pretty damn common, to go from the 1886200 level down to your 1414 and find support there. You could go lower. You could, and I've actually, if I'm being honest, the reason why I started off with that 0029 area is because I have noticed a lot of cryptos have done this exact move lately, going from their 1886 down to their 1272 and finding support. I've noticed that. And if we were to do that, if we were to go to the 1272, that's right there with the 382, it might be something that we do. You go just below your all-time high. It's a highly anticipated area to buy. Everybody thinks we're going to bounce there, and then we just wick right below it, scare people, make them capitulate, something like that. Maybe whenever we go down there, it's not just a wick. Maybe you're consolidating down there for a second, and then you move up. I don't know. But I do expect that you're going to go down. If I'm being honest, I'd like to shift my target even more. Oh, man. And at the risk of being wrong, I was keeping it safe saying 0034, 0033, somewhere in that area, and I still think that's a very possible area to find support. That's the area that we've been hanging on to since the all-time highs. And even before then, right? I'm not trying to pretend like I got this right the whole time, right? I was bearish down here. We're finally below those prices now, but I was bearish like down here and all the way up to the top. Literally made a video right at the top saying that I was bearish. I'm not trying to say that I'm right or wrong. That's not why I'm saying that. I'm just trying to clarify that whenever I said I was bearish at the top, I was also bearish here. So I'm really, what I'm trying to say is I wasn't perfect, right? And nobody is. But this whole time I have theorized that we go down to this area roughly with a heavily emphasized area at about 0033 to 0034, okay? Right there at the all-time highs. And I feel like that makes a lot of sense. But I'm a little bit more open to the idea that we do go below 003, just below it, right? 0029 at the most. And then we bounce from there. It's going to be an immaculate bounce. I think it's going to be an immaculate bounce just like this was here. What's that going to do? I wonder what the market cap's going to be. Entice me, ZB. You know what's going to be really enticing? I might actually buy some ZBCN, man. Because I think the rest of the market's going to go down, or up. I think the rest of the market's going to go up over this next week, but I think you'll go down. And you'll be at a good price to buy, man. That's what you do. You buy the coins that are down. People are going to be scared to buy this because it's going down, but that's nothing to be afraid of, man. It's opportunistic. And we'll see. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we're showing signs right now, signs of readiness to recover. We could. It'd be a bit unorthodox to find support here and move up, but we could. It's possible. Maybe we do move up with the rest of the markets. We find resistance here, and then over the next week we move down, right? I don't know. It's by the way, it is very possible that from here we could move up. We really could see the price go all the way back to about 0055. So even if that happens, even if from here we move up to 0055, that doesn't mean we're absolved of going lower. You're not moving down in a straight line. You're seeing some volatility. Don't get too excited, right? Look at the volume, see if it's true, see if it's there, if it's present. If you have low level volume moves, or if it's high volume with a high wick right there, you're finding direct resistance and prior support. That's everything that you need to know. It's a bull trap, and you're going lower inevitably. We might actually find some signs of a potential bounce here. We'll see. And with the idea that crypto is going to move up as a whole over the next week, and I could see that happening. Nothing just moves in a straight line, right? I wouldn't be surprised, actually, now that we're talking about it, I wouldn't be surprised if we did move up. We'll look at that and be sure, but I want to see here. 003 just below there or something. Let's just say, I do think we're going to 0029, but let's put it a little bit above. 30%, 30% more, man. ZBCN. $322 million market cap. That's low. So 10% is 32, 30% would then be 96, right? So 96, let's just say 100. So you'd be down to like $230, $225 million. $225 million market cap is pretty low, man. I think this thing could see 100x from here, let alone from there. I think this thing could see a 200x from here, let alone from there. So yeah, I'm definitely going to be picking up some ZBCN on my next purchase here, man. This thing's on the hit list. We're going to hit well, man. We're going to hit it hard. Absolutely. 21 hours, 27 minutes left in this day. Let's get into the short-term stuff, and then we'll wrap this bad boy up, okay? 1 hour time frame. The 1 hour is looking bullish. See, I'm glad that I said that. Watch now. I love it whenever I do stuff like that because the haters don't know what to think of it, man. They're like, he's calling for the downside. Oh, but first we're going up. So he's right, but he's wrong, but I don't know what to think. You know what I mean? I do think that we're going to go up a little bit. Hold on now. Hold on now. Yeah, actually I do. I think that you will move up. Looking at the 1 hour time frame, I do. This actually does look kind of bullish. Neutral right now, but the overall environment to me seems a bit bullish. It looks as though you were moving down, right? And you're rounding out. You're rounding out your low. And you've done this before. Wouldn't that just be funny? I'm expecting it to go down this whole time, and now as soon as I say it's going to go up, now today's the day that we go down to those areas. Wouldn't that just be hilarious? Don't be surprised, by the way. I'm not buying here. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor. I'm not buying here. I would definitely wait until those lows to buy. You know, whether I'm right or wrong about the upside, I don't care. But I'm going to tell you what I think, right? I'm not just going to sugarcoat it. From a high here to a low, you're still interacting with this area. I think if you were to go lower, you would have done it already. When you move up, you're not going to stop at the 382. You've already done that. So you're going to go up higher. Where's the next area? Right there, man. Right at the golden ratio, right at prior areas of support. That's what you're going to do. Oh, man, it's happening. Absolutely, it's happening. Yes. So here we are at 0041 right now. Not financial advice, not financial advice, not a financial advisor, but it wouldn't surprise me at all if ZBCN had a nice 30 to 40% move, maybe over the next week, maybe even to end the month. Maybe, maybe this is your end of month goal. It takes like a week or 2 weeks to get there, and then you start off July coming down. I don't know. And when you come down, it'll probably be fierce, right? But I do think you have lower prices to go. If you see any kind of more of a bullish move than what I'm calling for here, it might be time to accept that this is the low and that you are moving up higher. Boo-hoo, I missed my opportunity. I could have bought it here. I thought it was going lower, but it didn't end up happening. Okay, that happens. There's plenty of fish in the sea. It doesn't matter. 0056 to 0059, somewhere in that area is where I think you're going to go, ZBCN, and you're at 00417 right now. 1 hour time frame looks bullish enough. Let's see if we can get something with some volume on here. Not a whole lot of volume, but yeah, you're definitely consolidating. Typically speaking, whenever you see a consolidation phase, whenever you're about to break out of it one way or the other, you get a real lack in volume. And when you do break out, not that we're breaking out here, the way I have it drawn, it looks like we're breaking out, but I'm not the best at drawing straight lines, right? Whenever we do break out, you would expect volume to come in. If I'm right, we'll be breaking out to the upside, but if I'm wrong, we will probably see prices, I would say if we get down to about below 004, anything, maybe not that. Let's say below 0039, 395. If we get below 00395, I would say we're breaking out to the downside. But if there's no volume to back it up, it's possible you could get a fake out and move to the upside. If you're breaking out to the upside and there's no volume to break it out, it's possible that it's a fake out and you'll move down to the downside. Okay, so be aware of that. These kind of wedge patterns, they're notorious for fake outs. Okay, they're very notorious for fake outs. But I do like the 1 hour. I like the posturing right now, and I think you really are on the brink of the break here, man. We'll see. Looking at the 4 hour time frame, things are turning around. You're rather resilient. Let's be honest. I mean, even showing weakness, even when you show weakness, you're rather resilient. Look at how dominant the overbought area is. When you get into the oversold area, you're just afraid of it. And it kind of looks like right now you're starting an uptrend, right? Higher lows, higher highs. You've broken out of your downtrend, right? You started a kind of, look at that, you even have like a diamond in the middle there. You started a kind of sideways trend, and you're going into your uptrend right now. I think that's what's happening. And if this uptrend is true, whatever, however it looks, it might be sometime, whoa, yeah, I had that drawn right but wrong at the same time. It might be sometime next week, right? Sunday, Friday, whatever, that you're up in the overbought zone. You see that next move higher. You break out of this. People get excited. ZBCN, this was the one that did a 10x in 1 month. I'm going to buy the top. and it's just a lower high, right? That's all it is. And at a very likely area to find resistance too. Don't get too excited, right? Get excited for the short term. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor. And if I'm being honest, this might be a bad idea to say what I'm about to say, but I'm going to say it anyways because I'm speaking from the hip and just being transparent with my thoughts, okay? From a high to a low, my expectation would be that, and this tends to happen in any down move, you get a second chance. I thought this was it, and it kind of was your second chance. You had a double top to sell. If you didn't sell up here, I've been saying, if you didn't sell up here, you better not sell down here. Even if we're considering lower prices, you better not sell down here. But I think this might be a chance for anybody who wants to sell to get out before the next move down, before it does go below this low. Again, I still believe no matter what happens this next week, we're still going to go lower. I shouldn't say that unless we break above the golden ratio, unless we see prices that are above the golden ratio that are sustained, not just wicks by the end of next week. Okay, then maybe I'm wrong. If we have a positive interaction here instead of a rejection off of here, okay, maybe I'm wrong. But if I'm right, this might be a good opportunity, a second chance for people to sell. People who FOMO'd the top to mitigate losses, people who DCA'd down here, people who bought way down there who didn't get to take profits at the top. And I'm not saying to sell. If you're buying ZBCN because and none of this is financial advice anyways. I'm not a financial advisor. Do whatever you want. But if you bought ZBCN for the long run, you want to buy it and hold it for the end of this cycle, the end of next cycle, whatever. You see it having longevity. You see it having several months of growth to go still. You're like me and you don't believe that's the all-time high, and this is not good enough for you. You're willing to wait through the pain. If that's you, and I'm that same type of person. I don't sell. When I have a winner, the reason why I don't sell even in a moment like this is because what if I'm wrong? What if it keeps going up? What if this winner is stronger than you expect? You're going to give up something that's stronger than you expect when you could just have waited, been patient, DCA'd more, and it's going to go up there anyways later. You know what I mean? Like, it's a lot less stress to do that. It still is stressful because you'll play the whole game with yourself, man. You'll be like, oh, I knew I should have. It would have. Oh, I could have had so much more. But like, get over it. I think it's actually better practice to not sell. But for anybody who wants to sell, I think 00555 to 0058 will be an opportunity to get out. And it's really what it is a bull trap. It's an opportunity to trap people, add to that selling pressure when it starts coming down. Oh no, it's going below the slow, and panic selling, adding to the selling pressure, right? Because the big dogs that want to buy this thing, they don't want to buy it here. They want it on the cheap. But if I'm wrong, just in case I'm wrong, that's why I would advocate not selling. But again, just a little food for thought there. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor. I think you're going to move up, man. I think you are. And the reason why, and I was actually starting to think about it when I was looking at this daily RSI. I mean, hold on now. Wow, I didn't even notice that actually. But the reason why is you are living below the 50, but you haven't gone anywhere. You just haven't gone anywhere. You're finding support. Let's be honest. You are finding support, and you are right around the 236 too. I would have thought that you'd go down already, but you haven't. And with everything that's bearish, with Bitcoin dumping and the rest of the markets moving down, like you haven't gone down. This next week's going to be bullish for crypto. I don't think that means you're going to new all-time highs, but I would think that that does mean that you could bounce from here and recover. And again, best case scenario, I'm wrong, and you do recover, and that was it. That was your whole drop. To me, that seems like you're getting off a bit light still, but sometimes with really robust ones, I mean, you can do that. You can move down for about a week, 47% drop, that's it. I know that seems so intense, but in crypto, that's a walk in the park. You got off easy if this is what's happening, but that's why you don't sell too, okay? Not financial advice, not a financial advisor. I'm talking about the opportunity, an opportunity that I myself would not even take, even though I think it's going to happen, right? I'm just talking about it, letting you know where my mind's at. And volume on top of that too, looking at Bybit, the exchange that has the most volume for ZBCN, the volume's dead. It's dying off as you're moving lower. I think it's absolutely obvious at this point. I can't believe I didn't see it earlier that you're going to move up from here. You're absolutely going to move up from here. The reason why, again, you look like you should have moved down already. And the fact that you haven't, volatility, you know? It's like if you're supposed to move up, but you don't, what do? You move back to a liquidity area, back to an area where you found support before, resistance before, grab some liquidity, and then you move up. You fuel up the gas tank, and then you move up. Same thing, but to the downside. You're fueling up that bearish intensity, right? You'll probably hit the overbought zone and reject it. You'll probably move up. You'll see something like this, or you'll move up to the 60 and reject it. You'll move up to the overbought area and reject it, whatever. And then you'll come down, finally finishing in this oversold area. That's kind of my expectation personally. Again, 0029 I think would be where you go, if not 0034 at the least, inevitably. Pretty damn confident on that. Well, there was something else that I wanted to say too. And oh yeah, this was something that I just noticed too, is that look at this. You've got lower lows in the RSI here, but in response to this low here, you actually don't have lower lows, right? It's all based off closing prices. So that's the closing low there. All of these are higher lows. So you do have hidden bullish divergence. That would at least be good enough for some kind of a bounce too. It's so obvious. Of course you'd bounce and find resistance right where your support area was. Of course you would. Of course you're not just going to move down in a straight line. It'd be way better if you just move down in a straight line, get it over with, right? Imagine this. What I'm telling you essentially, if you're watching this video and you're happy, curb your enthusiasm. Be happy if I'm wrong, okay? Be happy if I'm wrong and you move up. Be happy if I'm wrong and you move down. I'll tell you why you should be happy if I'm wrong and you move down. Because if you move up like I think you're going to, that means instead of getting it done with now, being done with it by the end of the month, it's going to be sometime in the beginning of July that you're done with it. Wouldn't you rather just be done with it and ready to go up to new all-time highs in the beginning of July instead of it being like the midway or the later points of July that you see new all-time highs? You know what I mean? You see the difference? Or hopefully I'm just really wrong. You just rip through. You don't stop here. I don't know. But I do think you want to move up. That's good. That's good. Okay, I'm happy. That's good. I'm glad that I caught that. I've got nothing else to say. I think I'm going to end the video there. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. If I'm wrong, let's go over that real quick. If I'm wrong and you're not moving up, what should you look for? I think a break of this structure. And even then, look for a fake out. These things are notorious for fake outs. They really are. But look for anything below 00398, 00395. I think that would do it. Anything below that level, oh yeah, because it would be higher. So anything below this low here would do it for me. If you break out through this and you get some volume coming in, that would invalidate the upside idea. It would validate the downside idea. But I actually do like the notion that you're going to move up from here. You might be breaking out today, man. You might break out today and even going into tomorrow. Oh, I love that so much. imagine if I just stayed bearish, right? Then I got to deal with the whole thing where I'm bearish. It moved up. The trolls are like, ha ha, you were wrong. And inevitably I'll be proven right. So it's like it doesn't even matter. But I don't have to deal with that. You guys got nothing on me, man. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.